Hello, my name's Corinne, and today we're going to be seaming this flat pumpkin, cinching the top and filling it with polyfill or fiberfill. This is my checkered knit pumpkin. This is the medium sized, and this one is the small, and then there's also a large size. Today I'm just going to be showing you how to cinch it, seam it, stuff it. You can find the pattern for the knit pumpkin on my Etsy, my Ravelry, and my Ribbler. And you can find the pattern for making the checkered pumpkin in the round, in the medium size, on my blog. In the pattern, you get instructions for working it flat like this one, and then in the round. But we're gonna do instructions for seaming the flat knit pumpkin. So you knit it, looks like this, rounded edges. It's got smaller stitches at the top and the bottom. I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to thread it with the needle. If you don't end up having a very long tail, you could just thread another piece of yarn to be able to do this. So I've got it threaded. I'm going to turn it inside out. There really is no right or wrong direction of the pattern. It just depends on which one you like. And I just try to line up the blocks. So each block you're going to line it up with that other one from the other side. So I'm going to sew the first 4 stitches. I like doing the mattress stitch. That is my preferred method, but it really doesn't matter as long as you seam them evenly across, because it'll get covered up anyways when we make the indents, like an actual like on this, how you can see the indentations. We're going to be doing that. You're just going to be seaming evenly across the pumpkin. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be covering it up when we go to add the indentations. Now we're down to the last square. Great. That whole side is seamed. And again, it doesn't matter that you can kind of see the stitches. It'll get covered up. We're gonna flip it back out because I wanted this to be the outside. So I'm gonna pull the tail in just to hide it while I do the next part. Okay, so we have it seamed into a tube now. The next thing we're gonna do is seam around the bottom or weave the yarn, and I'm gonna use this just so that it's a little more sturdy. Again, you shouldn't really see it because one side will be the bottom and then the other side will be covered up with a pumpkin stem. I'm gonna thread my yarn, and then I'm just gonna wrap the yarn in and out of the stitches, maybe like every other stitch. It does not have to be in every stitch. And I'm just weaving back and forth. I'm running out of yarn, so I'm just gonna kind of pull it to cinch it a little bit more and then keep weaving until I get to that other piece of yarn or the end of the yarn. I'm gonna have both of those pieces of yarn so it's in the inside. You see that? How the thread is on the inside of the stitch. And this side, we're just gonna cinch it closed. So you're just gonna pull that yarn tight. You can take the yarn, tie a knot, nice and tight, knot it. And then we can take the end, I'm gonna clip it so it's even, rethread it. And then you're just going to pull those into the center to hide them. There. And you can't even really see it. Now we're gonna go to the top. So option here, you could go ahead and stuff it and then thread the yarn through the top, or you can start with threading the yarn through and then putting it in. I'm going to thread mine around, then stuff, and then cinch it closed. I've threaded the needle. Now I'm going to thread through the top of this. Again, this doesn't have to look perfect because you're going to cinch it closed and then you're going to cover it with a stem. And once again, I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm gonna pull the beginning tail into the center. There we go. Okay, it's threaded. Now we're gonna stuff. So you're gonna take the polyfill and begin to stuff it. Make sure your tails of the yarn are sticking out so that you don't lose them. I recommend not overstuffing, but you don't want to understuff either. You just don't want to overstuff it so that once you do cinch it closed and cinch the sides, you could see the polyfill through it more. That feels good to me, I think. Yes. All right. So I'm going to tie this tight. Cinching it closed. Tie a knot. I'm going to cut these so they're even, and then again I'm gonna thread the yarn onto the needle and then into the pumpkin. And then I'll just cut those. Well, it looks like a thunderstorm's rolling in, so apologies if this looks extra dark. But we're almost done, so I'm just gonna keep going through. Okay, it got quite dark. I added a light, so hopefully that'll help. I'm threading a different tapestry needle that's longer, that'll be able to get through the pumpkin a lot easier. It's nice and long. Okay, we're gonna start with one of the ends. You stick it in the bottom center, and you're gonna thread it out and pull a bit of it through, leaving a tail at the other end. And then this has 14 blocks around, so we're not gonna be able to evenly do, like this medium goes every 3 blocks. We'll have to go every 2 or 3 for this one. So I'm gonna wrap it, this long piece of yarn, I'm going to wrap it around and you're gonna line it up between blocks. And then insert into the center and out the other side. And then you're gonna pull it. You're gonna pull it kind of tight and see how that cinches that. Let's go 3 blocks. Same thing, wrapping it around, up the center, cinching it. See how you have that indentation? Let's do 2 for this one. Cinched, and we'll do 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure it's lined up between the blocks. Cinch. And then I'm gonna go 3 again. Wrapping around. Lining it up between the blocks. Anyways, okay, so we have the tail on the one side. I'm going to take this, going around a stitch and back out to the other side. I'm gonna cut this so it's shorter and tie the tails around each other. Double knot it. And then I'm gonna take my needle again. Let me cut it. I'm gonna stick it through first. There, we have a little lumpy pumpkin. You can pick which side you want the top to be, and to add the final touch, we will add a stem. I'm gonna add a small stem. I have these in my Etsy shop. We have small, large, and medium. I'm gonna do a small one for this pumpkin. Going to take my Gorilla Glue, put glue on the bottom of the stem, and then just press the stem down and hold it. And there you have it, a little small knitted checkered pumpkin.